I'm going to talk about a sleight that's always been aspirational for me, and that's the bottom deal. I don't do a good bottom deal, but I do a bottom deal often. It wouldn't pass in fast company, but given the context in which I do it, it gets by any audience that I'm likely to perform for, mostly old, retired, senescent fellow citizens. Okay, let me show you an improvised version of a trick that'll demonstrate what I'm talking about here. Let's have you just say stop anytime as I riffle through the pack. Right there, all right. That is your card. Now, ordinarily, I'm not looking at a monitor in front of me, so I wouldn't know that the card is a 7 of hearts, but I do. And I pass it to the bottom of the deck. All right. I'll now ask you for a number. Let's make this look at the pretty deck rather than my ugly face. I'll ask you for a number, and for the sake of brevity, we'll assume that that number is 9 that they give you. Now, I don't know the card, so I'll deal out 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'll say, well, look, if any of these cards are your selected card, the trick has failed. You pick number 9. I'll deal the 9th card face down, and here are cards number 10 through 52. If any of these cards are your card, then the trick has failed. But no! You picked a card. I didn't know what it was, but for the first time, tell me what it was. The 7 of hearts, and yes, indeed, that card does appear at the 9th position. Now, the bottom deal you can get away with there because it's done on the offbeat, and if it doesn't look and sound like the dealing of the other cards, it doesn't matter because it's the only card that's dealt face down. All of the other cards use different gestures because they're dealt face up. Now, the other thing about this bottom deal that makes it inconspicuous, first of all, nobody's looking when you're doing it, is one little detail that I haven't seen talked about much. And that detail isn't about, the preparation of the card or, how to make it sound or look as similar as possible to every other dealt card. When it's the only card dealt face down, it doesn't really matter that it matches any other deals. But here's the work and the things I think are important. First of all, the preparation is straight out of Marlowe. Nothing new here. You've got to get the card in a position where you can grab it easiest. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take these, I use I think mainly the middle and fourth fingers, and I'm going to buckle that bottom card just a bit. Can camera see that? And I'm going to slide it into position like this. So you could see now, if I remove my fingers, that it's accessible, right here. I can get by putting my middle finger in between the forefinger and middle finger of my other hand. I can access it easily, and my thumb just goes along for the ride. So the mechanics of pulling the card out are pretty simple. I just pull like this. But the important thing isn't what I do with the hand that's dealing the card. The important thing is what I do with the hand that's holding the cards. Now, if I were to just pull it out like this, it would be pretty obvious the card came from the bottom, no matter how quickly or elegantly I did it. My idea, and the thing I spend a lot of time thinking about, is what the relative position of the deck to the card that's being dealt. If the deck gets into a position quickly so that the dealt card looks like it comes from the top, it doesn't really matter. Nothing else really matters. Look, that card comes from the bottom, but look, the first time your eye focuses on it, the deck and the card are in a position they would be as if it came off the top. Now, if I don't move the hand that holds the deck at all, it's pretty obvious where that card comes from. But because that deck is in motion as I do the deal, there's kind of a retention of vision. I think it even comes close to fooling the camera. Look, that's a real card from the top. And yes, it looks different. Yes, because you don't have the push off when I'm doing the bottom card. That's for the real pros. But for me, it's the only card that I'm dealing, or one of few cards that I'm dealing, the fact that it doesn't look exactly like the one that comes from the top is a pretty minor consideration. So main thing is, for me, the position of the hand that holds the cards relative to the dealt card. My knuckles are right down here on the table before you know it. Look, and also I've created a distance between the dealt card and the rest of the deck, and you can't really focus on both. Now, I remember when I was a kid and first learning to palm a card, I couldn't have felt more self-conscious about doing it. I mean, I'm sure my face gave away something was up. Same thing with this. I mean, first few times I did this, I said, it feels so obvious to me. How can they not see it? But they didn't. And you can do this. Build up a little bit of confidence, and boy, this is a useful sleight. And nothing like a pass and a bottom deal to fool the pants off of most people. And that's our little comment, a little treatise on the bottom deal for today.